Starting in a comfortable cross-legged seated position, we'll take a couple deep breaths just to center ourselves, becoming present right here on our mat. Take the breath a little deeper and begin to let go of any outside distractions. Taking the hands out to the side, we're going to inhale them forward and lift them to the sky. Exhale, bring them back behind, and then with the breath leading the way, inhale forward and exhale back and down. One more time, inhale up, and then with the exhale, let the fingers and hands come back behind, fingertips pointing towards the hips. Take the shoulders back and inhale the belly up towards the sky and exhale, release back down. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. Coming back up to where we began, we're going to take our hands behind and inhale up and exhale, release them forward. Opening the shoulders, inhale up, exhale forward, inhale up. And this time, let the hands come to the front, supporting ourselves. Inhale the belly forward, shoulders come back. Exhale, round forward. Inhale, drop the belly, shoulders back, and exhale. One more time. Inhale the belly forward, shoulders back, and then exhale. Back to our rounding. Looking over at the left knee, the left hand's going to come to the outside of the left knee, and the right hand's going to reach out. We're going to inhale, reach a little further, and exhale. Let the body come out over that left thigh. Inhale long, exhale, inhale long, and exhale. With the next inhale, we're going to take the right arm into the sky, elongating the spine, and then the right hand floats back behind, gently gripping the mat as the left hand comes to the outside of the right thigh. We inhale into the twist, and exhale, begin to soften. One more breath. And then we look down at the right knee, and we release both hands to the side of that knee. Inhaling, reaching the left hand out this time, we exhale the body out over the right thigh. Inhale, perhaps a little further, and exhale. One more time, inhaling long, and exhale. With the next inhale, the left arm comes into the sky, and we exhale the left hand behind, right hand comes to the outside of the left thigh, and we inhale into our twist on this side. One more breath. And then we release, facing forward, and we come on forward to our hands and knees to a tabletop position. Knees are underneath the hips, the wrists under the ankles as we spread the fingers out wide, middle fingers pointing forward. Inhale, drop the belly, feel the hips broaden, and exhale, tuck the tailbone around the spine. Inhale, drop the belly. Exhale, round the spine. Inhale, drop the belly. And then exhale, round the spine, send the hips back onto the ankles, and the hands come back by the feet. And we take a few deep breaths here in Balasana, child's pose. With the next inhale, we come up onto the knees, pulling the hands forward, inhaling them to the sky. Push the hips forward on the exhale, releasing back. Inhale the arms back up. And exhale all the way back down to where we began, child's pose. Let's do this a couple more times as we inhale up. Push the hips forward, release the heart to the sky. And then inhale back up and back down. One more time. Inhale, the hands to the sky. Little bit of a back bend as we release. The hands come up. And this time, we return the hands to the hips. And the right foot comes forward and we find a lunge. Make sure that you're nice and steady here. And as we inhale forward, make sure the knees are under, right on top of the ankles. Spread the toes out wide. Inhale forward until you feel comfortable and secure. Find a drishti or focal point on the floor so that we can straighten that leg without any worries. And then as we inhale, the left arm comes up. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And this time, both arms come into the sky, hands together, we follow the thumbs up, and then we exhale, release into Anjaneyasana. For just a couple breaths, brighten the whole front side of the body. And we inhale the fingertips to the sky, and then exhale the hands down over the heart, and come to a gentle twist with the left elbow on the outside of the right thigh. Elongate the spine as we revolve the heart towards the right. 2 more deep breaths. And then we look down at the mat for stability, bring both hands down, and we come to a modified plank position. Fingers out wide, nice and long here, breathing up and down the spine. And then with the next inhale, we drop the hips, roll the shoulders back, and stare up through the third eye point in the forehead. Exhale back to a half downward facing dog. Inhale forward, dropping the hips, shoulders back. Exhale back to a half dog. Inhale forward, drop the hips one more time. And exhale back to a half dog. This time the left foot comes forward and we find our lunge on this side, making sure we have a nice stable base. And then once we found our spot, straighten the left leg, looking for that spot on the floor to keep our balance as we inhale the right arm up, bending into the left leg, and exhale down, straightening the leg. Inhale, bend the knees, stretch deep into the right side body. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Both hands come up for our Anjaneyasana on this side. Breathing long, softening the face. One more big deep breath as we stretch. And then the exhale, the hands come over the heart, and we take the right elbow to the outside of the left thigh. And find our twist on this side. One more breath. And then we look down at the mat. Let the hands come down, the knee safely comes back, and we find our modified plank one more time. Inhale, drop the hips, roll the shoulders back, and exhale, back to our half downward facing dog. Inhale forward, drop the hips, and exhale, back to our dog. Inhale forward, exhale back. And this time we're going to inhale forward, drop the hips, curl the back toes, and then push with the hands, coming back to Adho Mukha Svanasana, or downward facing dog. Feel the hips broaden as we push with the hands. The head dangles as we gaze softly back between the ankles. Two more breaths. And then as we begin this next exhale, we come up onto the toes, bend the knees, look forward towards the hands, and step the feet up towards the hands, bending the knees, resting the rib cage on the thighs. We inhale, sink the hips a little deeper, bending the knees, and exhale, straighten the legs. Inhale, bend the knees, sink the hips. Exhale, straighten the legs. Inhale, bend the knees, sink the hips, and then exhale, come to a very loose forward fold. Your hands may rest inside of your elbows as you begin to shake the head yes and no a few times. And then we'll inhale up to a half forward fold with the hands on the shins. Bring the shoulders up, drop the belly, elongate the spine as you find a spot on the floor to softly gaze at. Bending the knees nice and deep, we take the hands to the hips. Inhale. And then slowly exhale, begin to straighten up. Hands to the side. We inhale the arms up. And then exhale the right arm down as we stretch deep into the left side body. Inhale up. And exhale. Left arm down, stretch deep into the right side body. Inhale back up. Belly leads the way as we pour forward. Bend the knees, hands towards the mat. And then we exhale back to a plank or a modified plank with the knees down. And we exhale down to a hover. Inhale to an upward facing dog. Curl the toes. Exhale back, downward facing dog. And just a couple breaths here this time. Before we come up onto the toes, bend the knees, step hop or float forward, inhaling to half forward fold. Exhale, forward fold. And then inhale up all the way, shining from the inside, and the hands come back to the side. Inhaling back up. We're going to do this a couple more times. Pouring forward. This is Surya Namaskar A, Sun Salutation. So inhale, hands towards the mat, and then exhale back and down for what's referred to as the Chaturanga. Inhale upward, and then back. Looking forward, we step hop or float forward, inhaling half forward fold. Exhale, forward fold. And then inhale up all the way. Big breath. And then softly back to mountain pose. One more. Inhale up. Exhale. Exhale down. Bend the knees, hands to the mat. And we step back and down. One more time. Inhale upward. And then exhale back to downward facing dog. This time the right foot's going to come forward. And we're going to find our spot here as we root the left foot at a 45-degree angle, making sure that the right foot is in line with that back foot. We're going to inhale up, adjust our hips squared towards the front, and then inhale the arms to the sky, and exhale, bend into that right knee. Good. Look down at the mat, pivot the back foot forward, and step back to downward facing dog. And then the left foot comes forward and we turn that right foot to a 45. And we take the left hip back as we inhale up and exhale deep into our warrior one. Looking down at the mat, we pivot the back foot forward and come back to downward facing dog. Looking forward, we again come forward. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, forward fold. And then we inhale up all the way. Hands together this time. Exhale to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. And let the hands float down, center line. And as they come towards the heart, go ahead and begin to send the hips down, knees back towards the ankles, and we take the right elbow to the outside of the left knee. We begin to revolve in Parivrtta Utkatasana, revolve chair. Looking down between the toes for stability, take the left elbow to the outside of the right knee, and it's good to see that your knees are not jeopardized, that they're still flat and on the same plane. And then we can begin to revolve, finding our unique spot. And then look down between the toes, release the hands down by the feet, and inhale the hands up to the sky, and exhale, forward fold. Inhaling the hands towards the mat, bending the knees, we exhale back to downward facing dog. This time the right foot comes forward, the left foot at a 45. Belly button towards that forward knee as we inhale up. And exhale, bend deep into that right knee. Inhale, straighten the right leg, open up out to the left. Nice and bright. We exhale, send the right knee out over the toes, gazing out over the right fingertips. We'll be here for about 4 breaths in Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. Pretend someone's gently persuading the left arm back, keeping the spine straight. Exhale a little deeper. And then we come back to downward facing dog. Left foot forward this time. Right foot at a 45. Left hip back as we inhale up. And exhale deep. The next inhale, straighten that front left leg, open up wide out to the right. Big inhale. And then we exhale, send the left knee out over that left foot. And we breathe into our warrior on this side. Exhale a little deeper. Inhale. And then we are going to cartwheel our hands to the inside of this left foot this time. And we're going to walk off to the right, pivoting the feet so that the outside edges of the feet are parallel. And we find our straddle. Make sure it's something you're comfortable with. And we're going to inhale, drop the belly, spread the toes out wide. Make sure you've got a good feeling about it. And then the right hand gets placed under the right face, under the face, and the left fingertips touch the left big toe. And then with an inhale, we're going to open and exhale, touch the toe. Inhale, open. Exhale, touch the toe. We're going to do this 2 more times. Take it to the point to where you feel the best. And inhale. And this last time, the left hand is going to replace the right under the face, and the right fingertips reach for the right big toe. And we inhale, open. And exhale, touch the toe. Inhale, open. Exhale, touch the toe. Inhale, open. Exhale. Back down. The right hand comes back down. And we heel toe in 3 or 4 times. Bend the knees nice and deep. Walk the hands to the front of the mat. And step back to downward facing dog. And now we're coming into side plank. So as we inhale forward, we center the right hand in the center of the mat. So our shoulder is going to be over this right wrist. And we either roll off to the outside edge of this right foot, or we lower the right knee in line with that hand and the inside edge of the left foot. As we open up, belly button to the sky, we exhale underhand, opening the shoulder. And then inhale up, exhale, inhale up. And then this 3rd time, we let the hand drift out in front of us, left shoulder back, as we gaze softly towards that left palm for 2 breaths. And then we look down at the mat and come back to downward facing dog. And then we come to the left side. We're going to center the left hand. And again, we either roll off to the outside edge of that foot or lower the knee. You lower the knee so that the thigh is straight up and down, if this is where you're going. Creates a lot of stability here in the hips. Inhale up the right arm. Exhale underneath. Inhale up. Exhale. Inhale up. And then exhale, stretch those right fingertips out, push back on the right heel as you open up towards the sky, gazing towards this right hand for 2 breaths. And then looking down at the mat, we come back to downward facing dog. Right foot forward, left foot at a 45. And this time we're going to heel toe the right foot over to the right. And we're going to see that the heels are in a line, or even this right foot is a little bit off to the right. We do this so that we come up straight leg. And we take the right hip back, left hip forward. And that grounding base of the foot position helps us to square the hips towards the front. Good. Then we inhale up, and we exhale, pour the belly out over this right leg, gazing down at that second toe of that right foot. Inhale back up. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale up. Hands over the heart, and it gets interesting. Because now what we do is we bend into that right knee, making sure we can still see our toes. So if you can't, go ahead and move that right foot forward. And then we pivot the back left foot, coming into a lunge. Breathing deep, finding that drishti to stare at. Push back on the left heel, feeling the stretch. And you can stay right here, or you can twist it out with the left elbow to the outside of the right thigh. For just a couple breaths. And then we come back. Find that focal point again. Take the hands back. Lean forward. And then begin to come up to our balance. So it may be Virabhadrasana 3. Hands may be over the heart. Or we might just be balancing in any way that feels good for just a couple more breaths. And then slowly, with control, bring that left foot down, returning to Samastahiti. And then we begin to head off to the other side. Inhale up. Exhale, pour forward. Bend the knees, hands to the mat. Step back to our downward facing dog. Left foot forward. Right foot at a 45, except this time, remember, we're widening our base. So the heels are in a line, or the left foot is heel-toed over to the left once. And we come up with a straight left leg and pivot the left hip back, right hip forward. Inhaling the arms up. We exhale, pour the belly forward. Inhale up. Exhale. Stretch, pretend someone's pulling your arms forward. Inhale. And then really stretch, left hip back. Pull those arms out forward. Good. And then inhale up. And the hands come down over the heart. And we bend into that left knee. Pivot the back foot forward and find our stretch. Push the right heel back as we sink deeper, finding our edge. And again, we can stay here or take the right elbow to the outside of the left thigh. Just a couple breaths. And then we look down at the mat for a little stability and come back to center and do the interesting part. So we take our hands down to the side. Inhale. And then we find that spot to stare at as we launch up, finding our warrior 3 or whatever kind of balance pose we want to do. Just 2 more breaths. And then we slowly come back to Samastahiti. Spreading the toes and feet out wide, about as wide as the mat, pointing out at a 45-degree angle. We're going to inhale, and then exhale, bend the knees a little bit. Inhale back up. Exhale, bend the knees, send them out over the toes. Inhale. Exhale a little deeper this time. Inhale up. And exhale down almost all the way. Inhale back up. And then exhale all the way down. Using the elbows to separate the knees. Going to bring the belly and heart forward in Malasana. Just a couple deep breaths here as we stretch. Begin to stretch those inner thighs. And then we find ourselves back onto our bums, taking the feet together into Badkanasana or cobbler's pose. We can grab the toes or the ankles and inhale the heart and belly forward. Exhaling, releasing the thighs. Every breath, perfecting the pose. Inhale, shoulders back, heart forward. Exhale, release a little deeper. One more breath. And then as we inhale up, we're going to reach underneath the left knee. Bring it around so that the right foot is on top of the left thigh. And then we try to get a solid foundation as we can, rooting both sets bones onto the mat. Elongating the spine, we inhale the right arm up, nice and tall. And then staying straight, keep the right fingertips back behind, gently gripping the mat. Left hand to the outside of the right thigh. As we inhale into the twist. Exhale, find a little more room. Perhaps finding a spot on the floor over the right shoulder to gaze at softly. Two more breaths. And then the chin leads the way as we release. Reach for our knees. Rock back onto the sacrum, taking the feet to the right. And then the right foot behind, so that the left foot now can come softly towards that right thigh. Try to find your upright seated position. Inhale up the left arm, keeping the spine straight. Left fingertips come back behind, gently gripping the mat. Right hand to the outside of the left thigh. Inhale up, and then exhale the heart around to the left, finding our twist on this side. Deep, long, smooth breaths. One more breath. And then we release, reach underneath the knees, and bring them up and towards the front of your mat. From here, we're going to go into an inversion. Viparita Karini is a supported shoulder stand. And the way we can get there is by sending the hips up, push up with your feet, and then grab your hips. So we're supporting our hips here in our inversion. Now, the hips can be supported by a number of things. They can be supported by a bolster or a block. They would all be Viparita Karini. And it's a little different than shoulder stand in that with shoulder stand, you actually take your entire body up over your shoulders. But here, for today, we're just going to rest our hips in our hands. Coming back to our breath, we soften the neck, soften the face. Let the breath lead the way. The smoother the breath, the better the pose. Just a few more breaths here in our inversion. Make them deep, long, conscious breaths. Follow the breath all the way from the very beginning to the very end. One more. And then slowly begin to release down, and you can go ahead and grab the under your thighs and just come up to a seated position and find yourself on your mat. Take the hands back behind. Again, this is just like we did in the very first pose, except now we're seated. So the fingertips are towards the hips. We take the shoulders back and then just gently release the head. Open up the mouth and take a couple deep breaths as the shoulders come together. You may rock the head left to right a little bit to just feel the massaging effect. Making sure our neck is extra happy. And then we come back up with the hands to either side of the hips, preparing for staff pose, Dandasana. Spread the fingers out wide, press the mat, push with the heels, flex the toes back. Inhale the spine nice and tall. Exhale in and up underneath the belly button. Crown of the head lifts as you lock the chin towards the chest. We gaze softly down at the ankles. Inhale again deeply, full body inhale, about 80% flex. And then on the exhale, release down to about 10% flex. And just let that deep breathing elongate and sustain you. One more breath. And then we'll do Janu Shirsasana, head to knee pose. So we'll reach underneath the right knee, bring it up and open it up. Make sure your hips stay squared out over this left leg and the left toes are active. And then we'll inhale up and pour the belly out over this left thigh and finding an anchor spot with our hands. So wherever our hands are, they're not going to be really pulling and stressing or straining, they're merely anchor points. What gets us there is our breath. So we're going to inhale long and then exhale, just release. Every breath is an inhale, taking us long into the pose. And every exhale finds someplace else for us to release. Maybe the lower back or shoulders. Even the head and neck, we can inhale long. And then let that Shirsa head drift towards that Janu, knee. Janu Shirsasana. One more breath. And then we slowly come back up. Reach underneath the right knee, bring it up, let it straighten out. Just briefly reaffirm our posture with our Dandasana, and then reach underneath the left knee, bend it up, and take it open safely. With the right toes active, we square ourselves out over this right leg, inhale up, and then take the belly out. Find your unique anchor spot. It may be under your legs, it may not be at your feet. But it's only an anchor to give us stability for our breath as we inhale long and exhale, release. Every breath unique, every breath worth examining to its fullest. Just 2 more breaths here. And then we slowly come back up. Reach underneath the left knee, bring it up. Straighten your legs out one more time. Reaffirming our staff pose again. Wonderful pose. Let's inhale up, the belly comes forward. All the way to the root. Exhale in and up underneath the belly button. Lock the chin. Deep breaths. With the next inhale, we're going to bring the arms to the sky and pour the belly forward, reaching halfway across the legs. That's good. And we're going to do this a couple more times. Inhale up. Exhale, reach further, elongating the whole torso. Good. One more time. Inhale up. And then pour forward, stretching long, finding your unique anchor spot. Inhale, and then just exhale, releasing the shoulders and neck, finding your Paschimottanasana, your long seated forward fold. Let go of the shoulders, let go of the head and neck. But as before, just inhale long, taking the breath long, and exhaling, releasing. Every breath involved. One more breath. And then we're going to inhale up, using our hands for support. And we're going to find our way to our back. And we'll do this by first bending the knees, taking the feet together. And if accessible, bring the feet in towards the hips with your hands before you release down. It's important that you try to get the feet close to the hips. And we're going to do some flowing bridge pose that will lead us into bound bridge, Setubandha Sarvangasana. So with this, we inhale as the hips come to the sky, we lift the arms up above us, and exhale the hands back down. So we're going to want to do this a few times. As we inhale up, we're going to test our limits of our hips as we push up and exhale down. You're going to feel a lot of stretch in the front of your thighs and hips, and this is what we want. So we want to inhale up and feel the stretch as we push to the sky, and then exhale back down. And then this last time, we're going to inhale up and interlace the fingers and walk the shoulders together, pulling the fingers back towards the ankles, and just continue to inhale the hips towards the sky and our back bend. Make sure your chin is off your chest. You've got some roundness to the back of your neck. As you inhale into the hips, let the exhale just float your entire torso towards the sky as you just breathe deeply and relax into Setubandha Sarvangasana. Two more breaths. Try to take it a little higher each breath. release the hands, slowly let the hips return to the mat. Take a deep breath and just let the back relax for a moment. And then reach for the knees and leaving as much of your hips on the mat as possible. Separate the knees, elbows come out, and you pull the knees in towards the armpits. Breathe down the spine, feel the traction, and then let go of any tension. As we take a couple more deep breaths, just here, present right now. And then begin to make circles with your knees. Very small circles at first in opposite directions. So both knees are drawing different circles in the sky. And then you can begin to take them a little bit bigger. And then bring the knees together and start circles in the opposite direction, small at first. And then a little bit bigger. Keep the breath involved. Deep, long breaths. And then take the knees back together. Interlace the fingers around the right knee. And inhale the left leg to the sky. Big inhale. Push with the left heel. And then exhale that left leg all the way down to the mat, keeping it active. Now the elbows come out and we persuade this right knee towards the heart in wind relieving pose. Just deep breaths here, about 3 or 4 deep, long breaths. The whole body is involved, but no real stress, just good energy. One more breath. And then the left hand comes down onto the left hip, holding it down as we open this right knee up. Now keep the left leg active, pushing out on the left heel, which will help keep this left hip down. We're opening up the right knee as much as feels comfortable here, maybe even using the right elbow as a bit of a kickstand. Inhale deeply, and then exhale, just kind of find your spot. You can begin to feel exactly where you need to be, probably about 80%. Don't do 100. Just keep breathing right there to the hip, opening up for 2 more breaths. And then bring the knee back to center line, interlace both fingers around it again. Elbows come out, we pull it up towards the heart. And this time, the left hand grabs that right knee, right arm comes out along the floor, and we roll up to the left side, persuading that right knee over the body towards the left, keeping the right shoulder as open as possible. And we may even want to pick up our head a little bit and roll it towards the right ear to gaze out over this right shoulder. And then we breathe deeply and let go into a twist. One more deep breath. Great. Now we come back to center line with both knees up towards the heart. Grab a hold of the knees. Inhale the forehead towards the knees. And then release the head and neck down gently and softly. Interlace the fingers around the left knee this time and inhale the right foot into the sky, pushing with the right heel. Exhale, slowly lower that right straight leg down, keeping it active. And then the elbows come out and we persuade the left knee towards the heart. Breathing deeply. Feeling the stretch. Two more breaths. And then the right hand comes onto the right hip, holding it down, and we open up this left knee to the left, finding our spot here. Inhaling into the hips. You can release and let go. One more breath. And then we take this knee back towards center line, interlace both fingers, pulling that knee towards the heart, keeping the right leg active. Right hand comes to the left knee, left arm comes out along the floor for support, and we begin to persuade this left knee across the body and towards the floor. Staying open to the left as much as possible. Maybe even moving our head a little. Inhale deeply into the belly. And exhale, soften the belly and let go into the twist. Every breath, letting go. One more deep breath. And then we come back to center line with the knees up towards the heart. Grab a hold of the knees one more time. Inhale the forehead to the knees. And exhale, release down, let go of the knees. Let the feet come to the mat and then straighten the legs out on the mat. Take the arms up above your head and begin to inhale and stretch in either direction. Softly and smoothly with control, keep the face soft. Just let the breath lead the way as you continue to exhale. Inhale the biggest inhale of the day. At the very top of this inhale, hold briefly and then begin a controlled exhale. Long, smooth exhale as the hands come up and over to either side of the hips. Palms up. We tuck the shoulder blades slightly as the arms roll out, preparing for Shavasana, final relaxation. Take a couple deep breaths to find places to let go. Let go of the toes. Let go of the ankles. Let go of the hips. Let go of the fingertips and shoulders. Release the facial muscles. Let the tongue drift away from the top of the mouth. Feel the earth come up to support you. Take the breath a little deeper as it begins to lead you. Breath by breath towards peace. Every breath, Shanti. Every breath, peace. Om Shanti. After Shavasana, roll to your right side with your knees up towards your heart. Take a few deep breaths here to recognize the deep, even, flowing quality of your breath and the peace and joy that your practice has provided. And then, after a few breaths on your side, use your hands to push yourself into an upright seated position. Take a couple deep breaths to lock in your practice. And then this is a perfect spot for you to begin your meditation for the day.